wow, just that alone can clear your headache. This is what's so magical about this acupressure. It's just like, it could be just a blocked point. It's like a kinked up hose, you know? It's like you're turning on the water to water the garden, and you turn on the water and the water's not coming out. Well, it's because there's this huge, enormous kink there. And you just undo the kink and your headache could be that kink. Migraine headaches. So I'm going to share with you my personal protocol that I devised to treat myself, because I've struggled with migraines for many years. So if you did tune into this video, you might have a headache right now, and I'm sorry about it, but please stick with me and we'll see if we can create a shift in your headache or migraine. In this session, we're going to utilize acupressure massage, some pranayama, and some restorative yoga postures. We're also going to use aromatherapy. And if you have peppermint oil, peppermint essential oil, please get it now. Spearmint and any other plant that's in the mint family could possibly work, but I've found that nothing is better than peppermint. Also, those little preparations like Tiger Balm or white flower oil, those that have camphor in it, those can also work pretty well for what I'm going to share with you. Do you have a headache or a migraine? And I'm going to guess that if you clicked on this video, you probably have a migraine. Okay, there's a whole list of criteria that make your headache a migraine, and you can look that up online. I'm just going to list a few that I remember off the top of my head. If your headache lasts more than 24 hours, that's considered a migraine. If your headache is just on one side of your head, that's considered a migraine. If your headache is makes you nauseous, that's a migraine. If you see lights or flashes, that's a migraine. If you feel like you really have to withdraw to a darkened room and cover your eyes, you probably have a migraine. The other thing that we need to consider is with a migraine, it's a pattern, meaning it's episodic, and there's a trigger. So, and everyone has different triggers for their migraines. It's an important step to understand what might be triggering your migraines, because that information will empower you to avoid getting one in the first place. Many people fall into the trap of simply relying on aspirin or other painkillers to treat their migraine, but this is a symptomatic treatment, and it will not prevent or address the underlying cause of your migraine. But it will enable you to ignore the migraine for some time, which can have its benefits, but in the long run, it will only allow you to continue in persisting with the behavior that is driving it in the first place. And a lot of those things, particularly Tylenol, ibuprofen, have a lot of toxic side effects. Over time, if you take a lot of Tylenol over time, that is not recommended for your liver. A symptom, so pain is a symptom. So this is another way that we get in trouble with the allopathic approach, because the allopathic or mainstream Western approach is always treating a symptom. But see, a symptom is merely the mouth of something that's much larger. So if you're always silencing the mouth that's screaming, you know, you're getting farther away from the cause. This is why I like the holistic Oriental approaches, because they are treating the whole person. Migraine triggers are highly individual. It could be hormonal, it could be dietary, it could be a food allergy, or it could be merely mechanical, it could be structural. So if you get chronic migraines, I definitely think it's worth taking a trip to the chiropractor to see what's going on in your neck. My third cervical vertebra and also my atlas, the C1 used to need a lot of attention. And I've been able to bring a lot of that into balance through yoga, actually. So let's get on with addressing our migraine. So the first thing I want you to notice, if you do have a migraine, I want you to check your nostrils. And you're going to notice that one of your nostrils is more clear or more open than the other. You'll be able to breathe through both nostrils, but one of them will feel more blocked. This is normal. And this so-called blocked nostril, under normal circumstances, will be shifting back and forth from nostril to nostril, from Ida to Pingala, every 90 minutes. This shifting of nostril dominance, or the shifting of swara, is normal and keeps our body-mind in balance between the solar and the lunar currents. But if you have a migraine, you might notice that you are stuck on one nostril for hours, even days. And I've noticed this has happened to me. You can do this experiment. If you can merely get your other nostril to fire, if you notice that, say for instance, your right nostril is stuck open and the left one is stuck closed, if you can get that respiration coming into the left nostril, that itself might clear your migraine. And you may have seen pictures of yogis with that stick under their armpit. That's what they're doing, because they're putting pressure on a certain nadi, which they were able to manipulate which nostril was open. Another more easy, straightforward way is just to lie on your side. So if you want your right nostril open, lie on your left side. If you want your left nostril open, lie on your right side open. So this is part of the imbalance. There's something going on that's created the imbalance, so your nostrils aren't shifting. First thing, if you have a headache, what I want you to do is take some peppermint oil and put some in your hands. And we'll rub our hands and just breathe. Wow. And it's intense. Peppermint oil is intense. The other thing it can do is it can unblock your blocked nostril. So if you do have a blocked nostril, I'm going to show you a pranayama technique. That's another way that you can shift your nostril dominance. So let's just say my right is open, my left is slightly blocked. So that's normal and I don't have a headache. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to pretend like, say my right was stuck open for like, more than 12 hours, which has happened to me. I'm going to inhale some peppermint, put it right around my left nostril. I'm going to block off my right, and I'm going to work my Kapalabhati only with that left side. And see, I can see already it's shifted it. See, this is very subtle, and this is why yoga is so amazing, because these yogis knew how to tune and engineer the body. It doesn't take a sledgehammer. When you start getting more subtle, more refined in your energy after you've been practicing yoga for a while, you can shift yourself just with these little things. Now that we've got that nostril open, we'll do the alternate nostril Kapalabhati. So all I'm doing is I'm taking little sharp, forced exhalations from very low below my navel, and I'm just switching. Hold. Now the peppermint oil on my hand, so I'm able to smell it and inhale it with each exhalation, with each inhalation. This is all going right to your brain, okay? It's going to your limbic system, but essential oils, actually, they're so volatile and they're so refined, they go systemic. Okay, so this is why when we're applying essential oils, particularly like a pure grade, like I was using the frankincense the other day, you want to apply it where your skin is thin, where you're more vascular, and it actually will go right in. It goes to your bloodstream. And then we can do a couple rounds of just alternate nostril. Breathing in right, hold, exhaling left, and hold it. Breathe in left, hold, exhale right, and hold. Breathe in right, hold, exhale left, hold. And then just go back and forth on your own at your own pace, just switching. It doesn't have to be a long hold. We're just trying to get our head, our brain in balance. And then bring your hand down, check in with your energy, see how you feel. So now we're going to start our massage protocol for migraine headache. If you have nausea, right now you can rub some peppermint oil right around your navel. You can put a tiny drop under your tongue if it's therapeutic grade. So the first thing that we'll do is I always start out this way because we want to get everything running. We want to mobilize a flow in our entire meridian network. So we do this by, we cross our wrists and we find this point just where the collarbone is going to meet the sternum. That's kidney number 27, and we're going to tap on that. Okay? Interrupting that crisis. Okay, I did a whole video on interrupting a crisis. That was on emotional crisis. Now the crisis we're going to interrupt is the headache. Okay, tapping the spleen 21 right here at the bra line. It's the side of the nipple. And that point might be tender, but see, you're tapping it so you can gauge how hard you're going to tap it. If it's super tender, you know, just this in of itself might clear your headache. You know, you might have a headache just because you have an obstruction in your chi. Okay, that's usually at the base of all of our health issues, our imbalances, is we have obstruction in the flow of our chi. Sorry, we got to tap our thymus. Right at the sternum. And then one hand goes on the navel, 2 fingers go on these points just above and below the lip, and rub. And hold it. And if you press hard and then back off a notch, might be able to detect a slight pulsation. Excellent. So before we get into the rest of the acupressure, I do want to rotate our head and neck, because one of the causes of chronic headaches is muscular tension. So that's another one of these purely mechanical, structural, you know, just nothing energetic, just purely on the physical level. You got really tight muscles. These muscles up here are super tight. Well, guess what? You got some meridians that are running through that. One of them is the gallbladder meridian, which we're going to work on because that is very much indicated in headaches. So gallbladder meridian is one of the primary meridians that are treated for headaches in Chinese medicine. So here by rotating our head, we're starting to invite our neck and shoulders to relax. And we're making some space, let's go the other way, making some space so that prana, that chi, can flow through those meridians. We got gallbladder, triple warmer, stomach, bladder, and all these meridians that run through the neck. Great. Let's take our left hand over the head and actually bring this hand out to the side and just gently pull. See how much space you can create here. Just gently drawing your ear towards your shoulder. Never forcing. Be very gentle with your neck. Okay? And other way. So if you can get this opened up, get everything flowing through here, you may not need the chiropractor. But if you do have chronic headaches, it's worth to check that. Exhale, bring it up. Your headache might already feel better just from what we've done so far. We still got that peppermint working around our nose. Okay, chin to chest and just pull that forward gently, just gently. And then you can press back into your hands a little isometric. And then let it go. And then press back into your hands and let it go. One more. Great. And then chin up for just a moment. Great. Okay, so now we're going to start in with our acupressure for headache. So the first point we're going to do, you can use peppermint on this point, but the peppermint is really going to have more effect on the points that we use around the head. But the first point we're going to do is gallbladder 41, and it's on your foot, believe it or not. And it is right in between the pinky toe, in the, what do you call it, these metatarsal bones. That in between the pinky toe and the ring toe, okay, those little bones that come out or come down, and there's a point there, it might be sore, okay, now mine isn't, but it has been for sure. And this is your first point that you want to work if and when you ever get a migraine. So let's see if we can work both feet at the same time for efficiency. So this point is actually good for any kind of pain, anywhere. It's a pain point. So it's a good point to know, gallbladder 41. So just so you have some kind of orientation, the gallbladder meridian, it starts way down here on the foot. It comes up the side of the leg. It comes up the side of the body in all these zigzags. It's a very big, long meridian. It zigzags through here, and then it comes through the neck, around here, and it ends right the side of the eye. Okay, but it comes through the neck, it comes through the shoulder. Okay, and there's another point, a couple other on the gallbladder meridian that we're going to work in this treatment. But I just want you to start down here at the foot, right in the metatarsal space between the pinky toe and the ring toe, and just press. And then lighten up on your press. See if you feel any kind of pulsation. So usually you get the pulsation on the lighter touch, the lighter press. And when you get the pulse, that's actually, it's very good. It indicates that you've opened up the point. Okay, So you can experiment with that, but for the sake of this video, we're not going to hold each point till we get the pulsation, because we might be here all day. Second point, we're going to apply our peppermint oil. And I like to use my middle finger. Just come right on your temples. And this is coming up near the very ending point. Not quite at the end. The end is very close to the corner of your eye. And I just want to mention here that just to be aware that when you do work with peppermint, it's very strong. So don't go too close to your eye. And don't use too much when you're working around your eye. So I've definitely done this, and I can report that it does not harm your eye. You do feel like you have mint oil in your eye. It definitely will tear up, but it actually, to be honest, it actually has helped my headache before. Like, I don't ever intentionally put it in my eye, but I've accidentally gotten too close to my eye when I'm massaging these points. Okay, so I'm just right in, you see where the corner of my eye comes out, and there's just a very soft little dip there? That's where I'm rubbing. And then there's another spot that's just above that. So I want you to use very light pressure, okay, when you're here. The temple, we want to use light pressure. So from the temple itself, I want you to go slightly up and just rest the pads of your fingers. And you can use 3 fingers, and you might be able to feel a pulse, okay? And if you can feel your own pulse, notice if it's stronger on one side than the other. Because if you have a headache, and if you can balance this pulse that you feel, that can clear your headache, okay? And that's happened to me too. This is a very powerful spot. You only need a very light touch, because see, it's the light touch that's going to enable you to feel the pulsation. So if you do feel that pulsation, what I'm going to recommend is get a little bit more peppermint on your finger, okay? And then just light, hold that pulsation above, just above the temple. So this spot is just more, it's off of my eyebrow. And I can feel there's almost like a vein that sticks out, and I can feel the pulsation. So now on me, I can feel it more on my left. So, but I don't have a headache today, so I'm not gonna, work too hard at trying to get it balanced. But this is just, an interesting and potentially very powerful technique you can use to work on yourself. So I'm just one of those type of people, I'll go to the doctor if I need to, but if I can fix it myself, I'll do it. The next point, we're going to do another gallbladder point. It's up to you whether you're going to put more peppermint on your hands. Okay, this bump up here on the shoulder, okay, what we used to call the pet rock back in the 70s. Okay? I want you to put your hands your fingers right over your pet rock and rake it forward. Manual massage. Just rake it forward. Rake your fingers forward as you lift your chin. And see if you can just physically, manually break up some of that tension. There's usually a bundle of muscles there. This is gallbladder 21, so also on the gallbladder meridian. And then you can just, with your middle finger, I'm actually using 3 fingers, but my middle finger is the main finger, and I'm just going to press down on that point. Great. Now I want you to move up right to the corner, where the corner of your shoulder turns into your neck. You can rub there, and you can put more peppermint on your fingers if you want. Okay, just in case you were wondering, I have a background in massage therapy and shiatsu. I worked as a massage therapist for over 35 years. And I've taught yoga on and off for about 20 years. I also have a bachelor in holistic health science and have been casual study of qigong. Just if you were wondering my bio. Okay, the next one is also on the gallbladder meridian, gallbladder 20. So I'm going to be inserting a picture here, but it's right where the, I'm going to turn around. You probably want more oil. Right at the occiput, this is called the base of the skull, there's these two bones that will protrude down. Okay, right next to where your spine is going to enter your skull. There's these two bones right here. And you want to massage those. And actually, I have a massage tool that I might get out and show you at the end, where you can very powerfully stimulate that point. And that has helped my migraines. You can see that I've really gone down the rabbit hole with this. Okay, and so all these points I'm showing you, I'm just showing you so you've got the map, so you have the protocol. You can go, if you have a really bad headache, you can go back and you can spend as much time as you want. Okay, you can say hello again to this kidney 27. That's always a good point to keep clear. And then another set of points. These are both on the stomach meridian. Stomach meridian is going to be coming down from your eye, and it goes all the way down and ends to the big toe. But there's a couple of these. This point that I'm going to show you next has cleared, just this one point has cleared a migraine for me on one occasion, or more than one occasion, but I always usually hit this one. I know, I just had such good results this one time. I just did this point, this is like gone, right? So right under the cheekbone, okay, there's a point, and you're going to love this point. It's called facial beauty, and it's what they use in like cosmetic acupressure and acupuncture. If you go to a Chinese doctor that specializes in face, they'll do this point. But I found that it also really works for headaches. So just locate this point. It's just right underneath your cheekbone, the point where it's protruding the most. There's a hollow underneath there, and I like to use my knuckles. It's a strong point, you guys, okay? So ready? And you can just press your knuckles into underneath that bone, the cheekbone, the zygomatic arch, and then lean forward. Woo! Wow, just that alone can clear your headache. Okay, because see, we don't know. It's just like, this is what's so magical about this acupressure. It's just like, it could be just a blocked point. It's like a kinked up hose, you know? It's like you're turning on the water to water the garden, and you turn on the water and the water's not coming out. Well, it's because there's this huge, enormous kink there, and you just undo the kink and this could be your headache. Your headache could be that kink. That's my point. Okay? So that could be a kink. I think that day that I had when it really cleared it, I think that was the kink in my hose, and I just hit it and boom, finish. Okay? But it's not always that easy. Okay, the next one is right to the side of the nose. This is also on the, no, this is large intestine, excuse me. This is on the large intestine meridian. This is to the side of the nose. I can't pull the number right off the top of my head, but I will put it up here. So right to the side of the nose, there's just a little dip. That's a cool thing about these acupressure points. It's like you kind of know, it just makes sense that there's something there. It's a special point on the body. And these Chinese guys, you know, these masters, you know, they figured all this out, you know, centuries ago. worth it to massage above and below the lip again, the central and governing point. Great. Beautiful. The last two that I'm going to show you today that you might want to put some peppermint oil on is right at your third eye center, and one right at the crown of the head. 1,000 meeting point in Chinese medicine, or the crown chakra in yoga. So when I'm treating myself, when I really have a migraine, I take my peppermint oil and I put it all around my head. I create like a ring. It's like a whole ring of peppermint around my head. Because you know, a headache sometimes feels like your head is like in a vice. So I create a ring of peppermint. So I get my occipital ridge, my cheekbones, my outer eye, my third eye, and my crown. And I get that ring going, you know, these temples. There's another point, you guys. If you do go to an acupuncturist, or get acupressure, shiatsu session, they will often do this point for headaches, okay? Large intestine 4, okay? So it's right in the webbing of this thumb and index finger. This is also for nausea, car sickness, motion sickness. And it's not one of those points that's like super rewarding, you know, like it's gonna like feel super good. But it's often very sore, and this is often the kink in the hose. So if you go and get acupuncture for headache, they're probably gonna do gallbladder 41 and this one, large intestine number 4, right here, right in the webbing. Let's just take a moment and sit and just feel, see if we've gotten any shifts. And now we're going to move on to our asanas. And I'm only going to give you a couple asanas, and these are restoratives. But first we're going to do some cat rolls, because I really like the cat, because it just gets everything mobilized. So we'll come onto our hands and knees. Inhaling and exhaling, just get your energy moving up and down your spine. Separate the knees. We're going to sit back in Manjukasana, the frog pose, so the toes are together and the knees are apart. Now I understand that probably not everyone can sit like that, so you can sit on a height. And actually, for this posture, it'd actually be great if you had a big long pillow, because we want this to be as restorative as possible. So I'm going to grab my pillow. Okay, so here I have a big long pillow. So if you don't have a pillow that's this big and this long, then that's okay. You can construct something with your own pillows that you have before. But people who are stiff might have to be, you know, up fairly high. You can use cushions. You can use couch cushions. If you have access, or if you have real yoga props, like a firm bolster is great for this. And you know, when I used to study in the Iyengar system, some people, you know, use 2 bolsters, you know, 3, you know, make it high. You know, that's what props are for. But we're just going to come forward. And I just want you to rest. Resting forward. Now I'm going to show it without the bolster, but if you're already in a position that you're comfortable, just keep doing that. But headaches, I think I didn't mention the most common trigger, and the trigger that I found to be my trigger, and that is stress, overwhelm, you know, mental, emotional, or physical, and overexertion. Essentially over demands, like trying to keep up with the world and what my mind perceives has to be done, or you know, maybe my nervous system is shifted into fight or flight. You know, I got stressed. So I feel that that has been my personal trigger, because I've always, you know, any type of overexertion, you know, overwork, walking or climbing or running or something too long in the hot sun, overexertion, you know, or over demands from a work situation. That has triggered my migraines. So that's why the restoratives are the way to go, because it's in the restoratives that we can trigger that parasympathetic nervous system response, and then Mother Nature heals it on its own, on her own. You know, different ways to do this pose. There's all kinds of different variations. You can rest your head. Ways to support yourself. This is actually not too bad. So with support or without, Mandukasana, bending forward. And just let yourself have a nice long stay. Stay, you know, much longer if you want. You can pause the video, and then we're going to go on to the last pose that I'm going to give you for migraine headache. Because if your migraine is caused from overexertion, it's likely that you just need to rest, and that is sometimes the hardest thing for someone in this modern environment that we find ourselves in. It's often the hardest thing to do, because see, the society isn't offering us that on a silver platter. So if you need to rest, you know, we need to claim it. That's what I found. Because if I just try to keep up with the pace of the outer world and society, there's no breaks, right? This world goes 24/7, you know, especially now with all this AI and computers, and it just never sleeps, you know. AI doesn't have to sleep. Okay, so what I'm going to propose here is this supported bridge, Setu Bandha. So I'm working on the medium setting of my bricks because I just want to be moderate. I'm going to give myself a supported back bend. Now I could use my yoga strap and tie my legs together, and I could put an eye bag or any just kind of like a silk scarf or whatever I got lying around over my eyes. Now if I was comfortable, I could stay here for a long time. So, you know, I remember a long time ago when I studied in the Iyengar school, they were so big on this pose, and I literally remember hearing them say this pose will heal all diseases. Okay, I do remember hearing that. So let's give it a go. Let's see if they're right, you know. But the key is you have to be comfortable. So maybe you can't use medium setting. Maybe you want low setting on your bricks. Or maybe you want, actually this makes the background more intense. I've got this one on low and this one on medium. Maybe I just need low setting. This is much more mild. This is more like a supported shavasana. And this is also very nice, you know. Or maybe you're a person that's super flexible, like super back bendy, you know, and maybe you want to work all the way up here, you know. So it's fine to experiment. Ooh, that's pretty deep for me.
Well, I'm not sure what happened to the rest of my video, but it cut off right back there. So if you're still with me, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this has helped you. And if you have any comments, questions, please contact me or drop a comment below. Thank you so much. Namaste.